In every relationship, the dynamic between two people evolves over time, and while it's natural for things to change, some shifts are harder to ignore than others. When you start noticing that your partner is behaving differently, especially in ways that signal emotional distance, it can leave you feeling confused, hurt, and uncertain about the future of your relationship. While not all signs of change are necessarily negative, certain behaviors can indicate that the emotional connection between you and your partner is weakening, or that they may be falling out of love. One of the first signs that things might not be as they once were is when your partner stops trying to impress you. In the early stages of a relationship, both partners are eager to show their best sides, making an effort to surprise each other and keep the spark alive. But when your partner no longer puts in the effort to do special things for you or make you feel appreciated, it may indicate that their feelings have started to fade. Another red flag is when your partner stops defending you in front of others. In a healthy relationship, partners stand up for each other, especially when facing criticism or judgment. If they no longer come to your defense or brush off negative comments about you, it could signal a lack of emotional support and respect. Similarly, when your partner seems disengaged during intimate moments, it can show that they're emotionally checked out. Intimacy isn't just about physical connection, it's about being emotionally present with one another. If your partner no longer seems excited or involved during these moments, it may point to a deeper issue in the relationship. You might also notice that your partner starts talking about how things are different now. This phrase often reflects a sense of dissatisfaction or regret, signaling that they no longer feel the same way about the relationship. When they stop apologizing for mistakes or stop initiating plans for dates and fun activities, it can feel like they've stopped caring about maintaining the relationship. Perhaps most telling is when your partner withdraws during tough times, no longer checking in on you or showing concern for your well-being. A lack of interest in your health or emotional state can be a sign that they've distanced themselves emotionally. Similarly, when they stop feeling protective or jealous, or when they no longer care about introducing you to their friends and family, it can be a sign that they no longer prioritize the relationship. Ultimately, if your partner no longer seems committed to making the relationship work, it's a serious red flag. Relationships require effort, communication, and mutual care. When one partner stops investing emotionally, it leaves the other feeling neglected, unsupported, and uncertain about the future. If you notice several of these signs in your relationship, it might be time to have an honest conversation to assess where things stand and decide if both of you are willing to work through the issues or if it's time to move on. 1. They don't try to impress you anymore. When your partner stops trying to impress you, it can be a subtle but strong sign that their feelings for you may be fading. In the early stages of a relationship, your partner is likely to make an effort to make you happy, whether it's through small surprise dates, thoughtful gestures, or spending extra time with you. These actions show their love and care. However, if these things suddenly decrease or stop altogether, it can indicate that their interest in you might be waning. People put in effort to impress their partners because they want to keep the relationship fresh, exciting, and full of emotional connection. It doesn't necessarily mean your partner is intentionally hurting you, but it does show that they've stopped actively engaging in maintaining that connection. Often, as time goes by, people settle into their comfort zones and start taking their partner for granted. They stop making the effort because they assume that the relationship will just carry on its own. However, when someone truly cares, they continue to show their partner that they matter, whether it's through small acts of kindness or making time for each other. If your partner has stopped making this effort, it's important to notice this change and consider whether the relationship is still thriving. Relationships need both emotional connection and active effort to stay healthy. If those are lacking, it may be time to have an open conversation about where things stand and what both of you want moving forward. 2. They stop defending you in front of others. When your partner stops defending you in front of others, it can be a significant sign that their feelings for you are changing. In healthy relationships, partners stand up for each other, especially when the other person is being criticized, misunderstood, or treated unfairly. If your partner used to be your biggest supporter, always ready to defend you in front of friends, family, or even strangers, and suddenly they stop doing that, it can make you feel unsupported or even isolated. This change can be subtle at first. Maybe they don't speak up when someone makes a negative comment about you, or they don't intervene when others are treating you poorly. In the past, they might have been quick to defend your honor, explain your side of the story, or stand by you during challenging moments. But now, they may seem indifferent, or even agree with the criticism without offering any form of protection. The reasons behind this shift could vary. It might be because they've emotionally checked out, or they might not value the relationship as much anymore. Sometimes, people stop defending their partners because they no longer feel connected to them, or they feel embarrassed, insecure, or unsure about the relationship's future. It could also be that they no longer see the need to protect you because they no longer see you as a priority. When a partner stops defending you, it can make you feel like you're no longer valued or respected in the relationship. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual respect and protection, especially when it comes to handling outside opinions or criticism. If this behavior continues, it's important to talk about it and figure out why the support that once felt automatic is no longer there. Communication and understanding can help address any underlying issues and potentially bring the relationship back on track. 3. They seem disengaged during intimate moments. When your partner seems disengaged during intimate moments, it can be a troubling sign that their emotional connection to you is starting to fade. Intimacy, both physical and emotional, is a cornerstone of a strong relationship. It's not just about physical closeness, but also about sharing vulnerability, trust, and affection. When your partner appears distant, distracted, or uninterested during these moments, it can leave you feeling confused, hurt, and unsure of where you stand in the relationship. Initially, physical intimacy might have been a way for both of you to connect and strengthen your bond. It was something you looked forward to and enjoyed together. However, if your partner starts to act disinterested or detached during intimate moments, it could signal a lack of emotional connection or a shift in their feelings. Maybe they don't respond to your touch like they once did, or they seem distracted, like their mind is elsewhere. In some cases, they might even avoid physical closeness altogether. There could be many reasons behind this disengagement. They may be feeling emotionally distant from you, which is affecting their desire for physical connection. Sometimes, people pull away because they're dealing with personal issues, stress, or emotional struggles that they haven't shared with you. Other times, it could be that their feelings for you have diminished, and they no longer feel the same level of attraction or closeness. Whatever the reason, when a partner disengages during intimate moments, it's a clear sign that something is off in the relationship. Intimacy is a way to nurture your bond, and when that spark seems to be gone, it's essential to address it. Having an open and honest conversation about how you're both feeling can help clear the air and determine if the relationship can be revived or if it's time to reassess things. 4. They start talking about how things are different now. When your partner starts talking about how things are different now, it can be an alarming sign that they're feeling disconnected or unsatisfied in the relationship. This phrase often comes up during conversations where your partner reflects on the past and compares it to the present, usually in a way that highlights a shift or decline in the relationship. It may be mentioned casually at first, but if it becomes a recurring theme, it's important to pay attention to what they're really trying to communicate. Things are different now could refer to a lot of changes: emotional distance, decreased affection, or even a lack of shared interests. Your partner might be feeling that the relationship no longer holds the same excitement or connection it once did, and by bringing it up, they could be signaling their unhappiness or dissatisfaction. Sometimes, they may even say it in a way that implies regret or nostalgia for how things used to be, which can feel like a critique of the present relationship. This shift can be triggered by various factors: the natural changes that happen in long-term relationships, personal issues your partner is going through, or a realization that they no longer feel the same way about you. It might also suggest that they're growing apart and no longer see the relationship the way they did before. If your partner frequently mentions how things have changed, it's a good idea to have a deeper conversation to explore what they mean. Are they just feeling nostalgic for the honeymoon phase? Or do they genuinely feel that the relationship is no longer fulfilling for them? It's essential to listen carefully and understand whether they're open to making changes, or if they feel the relationship has run its course. Regardless of the outcome, addressing this feeling openly can help both partners gain clarity on where they stand and what's next. 5. They no longer apologize for mistakes. When your partner stops apologizing for mistakes, it can be a significant sign that their emotional investment in the relationship is fading. Apologizing, especially when we hurt someone we love, is an important part of maintaining respect, trust, and communication in a relationship. An apology isn't just about admitting a mistake. It's a way of showing empathy, acknowledging the other person's feelings, and taking responsibility for actions that may have caused harm. If your partner no longer apologizes when they've done something wrong, it can feel like they've stopped caring about how their actions affect you. This lack of apology can be especially hurtful in situations where you've been directly impacted, and their refusal to acknowledge it can leave you feeling unheard or unimportant. Initially, your partner might have been quick to say sorry, recognizing the importance of mending things between you. But if they start avoiding or dismissing the need for an apology, it suggests a shift in their attitude towards the relationship. There could be several reasons why they've stopped apologizing. One possibility is that they're emotionally withdrawing from the relationship, and as a result, they no longer feel the need to maintain the same level of accountability. Another reason could be that they're not seeing their actions as problematic anymore, which might indicate that they've emotionally checked out or no longer value the relationship as much. Sometimes people stop apologizing because they feel defensive or guilty, and admitting fault would make them feel vulnerable. In some cases, it could also be a sign of underlying resentment that hasn't been addressed. Regardless of the cause, when a partner no longer apologizes for mistakes, it can erode trust and create emotional distance between you. Apologies are a fundamental way of healing and moving forward after conflict. If this behavior becomes a pattern, it's important to have a conversation about it. A relationship built on mutual respect and accountability will thrive when both partners are willing to acknowledge their wrongs and work towards understanding and resolution. 6. They stop initiating plans for dates or fun activities. When your partner stops initiating plans for dates or fun activities, it can be a clear sign that the effort to keep the relationship exciting and dynamic is starting to fade. In the early stages of a relationship, both partners are often eager to spend time together, whether it's for a casual date night, a spontaneous adventure, or even just a quiet evening at home. These activities are a way to nurture the bond, create shared memories, and keep the relationship feeling fresh and vibrant. However, if your partner stops making plans for these kinds of experiences, it can feel like they're no longer invested in creating new moments together. They might no longer suggest going to your favorite restaurant, planning a weekend getaway, or even suggesting a cozy night in. The absence of these gestures can make you feel like you're simply coexisting rather than actively growing or enjoying your relationship. This shift might happen gradually at first, but over time it can start to create a sense of routine and stagnation. You might find yourself doing all the planning or waiting for them to suggest something, but when nothing comes, it can lead to frustration and disappointment. It's natural for relationships to go through phases where things might feel a little less exciting. But if the lack of effort to plan fun activities becomes a constant, it could be an indication that your partner is emotionally distancing themselves. There are many reasons why this might happen. They might be feeling emotionally drained or disconnected, or perhaps they're preoccupied with other aspects of their life, like work or personal issues. In some cases, it could be that they no longer feel the same level of attraction or excitement about the relationship. Whatever the reason, when one partner stops initiating fun plans or activities, it's a signal that something may be missing. Healthy relationships thrive on shared experiences and effort from both sides. If this behavior continues, it's important to address it with your partner. Open communication can help you understand if there are deeper issues at play and whether both of you are still on the same page about the future of your relationship. 7. They don't check in on you during tough times. When your partner stops checking in on you during tough times, it can be a painful sign that they're no longer emotionally available or invested in your well-being. In a strong, supportive relationship, partners care for each other, especially when one of them is going through a difficult period. Whether you're dealing with work stress, personal challenges, or even health issues, it's natural to want comfort and support from the person you care about the most. A simple, "How are you holding up?" or "Is there anything I can do to help?" can go a long way in making you feel seen, supported, and loved. If your partner isn't showing concern during these moments, it might make you feel alone or neglected, as if they don't care about what you're going through. This lack of support can be especially hurtful if you've always been there for them during their tough times, offering empathy and a listening ear. The absence of these small gestures of care can signal a growing emotional distance between you and your partner. There could be several reasons for this behavior. Your partner might be feeling emotionally distant or overwhelmed by their own issues, making it difficult for them to give you the support you need. Sometimes people withdraw from relationships when they feel disconnected or have unresolved issues of their own. In some cases, it could also be that they're no longer as invested in the relationship and have stopped seeing it as a priority. Whatever the reason, if you find yourself constantly going through tough times without your partner reaching out, it's important to address the situation. Feeling emotionally supported by your partner is crucial for a healthy relationship. Open communication about how you're feeling can help bring the issue to light and give you both a chance to understand whether there's a way to reconnect and rebuild that emotional support. 8. They don't get jealous or protective anymore. When your partner stops feeling jealous or protective, it can indicate a shift in their emotional attachment or investment in the relationship. In healthy relationships, a small amount of jealousy or protectiveness can be a natural response to wanting to safeguard the bond you share. It doesn't necessarily mean possessiveness, but rather a desire to protect and value the connection you have. For example, they might feel concerned if someone else shows interest in you, or if they sense a threat to your relationship. If your partner no longer shows signs of this, it could mean a few things. They may feel secure and confident in the relationship, which can be a positive thing, but a complete lack of concern could suggest they've emotionally checked out. When someone is emotionally distant, they might stop caring as much about the dynamics around the relationship, including how others interact with you. Another possibility is that they no longer feel as attached to you or the relationship. When someone is falling out of love or starting to disengage, they may stop feeling protective or jealous simply because they no longer see you as their priority. They might not be as invested in maintaining that emotional connection or ensuring that the relationship remains secure. While a healthy level of jealousy or protectiveness isn't necessarily harmful, a total lack of it can signal that the emotional bond is weakening. If your partner isn't showing concern or interest in your well-being or in how others treat you, it's important to talk about it. It could be a sign of deeper issues within the relationship that need to be addressed in order to reconnect and rebuild emotional intimacy. 9. They stop caring about your health or well-being. When your partner stops caring about your health or well-being, it's a clear sign that the emotional connection and concern for you as an individual may be fading. In a loving relationship, both partners are generally invested in each other's physical and emotional health. Whether it's reminding you to rest when you're sick, asking about how you're feeling after a long day, or supporting your efforts to live a healthy lifestyle, these acts of care reflect their emotional investment in your well-being. However, if your partner starts showing indifference to your health or well-being, it can feel incredibly isolating. Maybe they don't check in on you when you're unwell, or they no longer offer help or sympathy when you're going through a tough time physically or mentally. If you're dealing with stress, anxiety, or health issues, and they no longer ask how you're doing or show concern, it can be painful and leave you questioning where their care has gone. This shift could be the result of emotional detachment. When people begin to distance themselves in a relationship, they may stop noticing or caring about their partner's needs. It could also be a sign that they no longer see the relationship as a priority and, as a result, stop taking an active role in supporting you. It may not necessarily mean they want to hurt you, but they're no longer as invested in your happiness or health, which is a huge red flag. Caring for each other's well-being is a fundamental part of a relationship. When this care starts to wane, it indicates that something is amiss. If you notice that your partner has stopped showing concern for your health or well-being, it's important to talk about it. Open communication about your needs and feelings can help clarify where things stand in the relationship and whether there's a path forward for both of you. 10. They withdraw when you need them most. When your partner withdraws when you need them most, it can be one of the most painful signs of emotional disconnection in a relationship. During tough or challenging times, whether you're dealing with personal struggles, loss, or stressful situations, you naturally expect your partner to be your source of support, comfort, and strength. Their presence, words of encouragement, or simple gestures of care can help you feel less alone and more capable of handling whatever you're going through. However, if your partner starts to pull away during these critical moments, it can leave you feeling abandoned, isolated, and emotionally unsupported. They might physically distance themselves, emotionally shut down, or avoid engaging in conversations about your struggles. This withdrawal can feel especially hurtful if they were once the person you could always count on during difficult times. There are several reasons why this could happen. It might indicate that they are feeling overwhelmed themselves and don't know how to offer support. They could be emotionally drained or dealing with their own issues, which makes it hard for them to be present for you. Alternatively, it may suggest a deeper issue within the relationship, such as growing emotional distance or a loss of interest. Sometimes, when people start feeling disconnected, they avoid their partner's vulnerability because they no longer feel the same emotional investment or they simply don't know how to handle it. When your partner withdraws during your time of need, it can shake the foundation of trust and intimacy in the relationship. Feeling like your partner is emotionally unavailable when you need them most can lead to resentment, confusion, and a sense of emotional neglect. If this behavior continues, it's essential to address it. A heart-to-heart conversation can help uncover the reasons behind their withdrawal and provide a chance to discuss whether the relationship is still meeting both of your emotional needs. 11. They seem less excited to introduce you to others. When your partner seems less excited to introduce you to others, it can be a subtle yet telling sign that they might be pulling away emotionally or no longer fully invested in the relationship. At the beginning of a relationship, introducing your partner to friends, family, and even colleagues is often an exciting milestone. It's a way of showing the world that you're proud of your connection and that you're ready to integrate your personal lives. Whether it's a casual hangout with friends or a family event, there's usually a sense of pride and enthusiasm about sharing your partner with the people who matter to you. However, if your partner seems reluctant or indifferent about introducing you to others, it can raise questions about their feelings towards you and the relationship. They may downplay your connection in front of others, avoid discussing you in social settings, or seem uninterested when you suggest meeting new people together. This lack of enthusiasm could indicate a lack of emotional investment or a sense of discomfort about where the relationship stands. There could be a few reasons for this behavior. One possibility is that they're feeling uncertain about the relationship and aren't ready to publicly acknowledge you as their significant other. In some cases, it could be that they are no longer as emotionally connected or invested in the relationship, so introducing you to others feels less significant or important to them. Another reason could be that they feel embarrassed, insecure, or unsure about how the relationship is perceived, which might cause them to keep you at arm's length socially. If your partner is consistently less excited to introduce you to others or avoids bringing you into their social circles, it's important to have a conversation about it. Understanding their reasons and addressing any underlying issues can help clarify where both of you stand in the relationship. Feeling valued and included in each other's social worlds is a key part of building a strong, healthy connection. And if that's missing, it's worth discussing what that means for your relationship moving forward. 12. They no longer care about making the relationship work. When your partner no longer seems to care about making the relationship work, it's one of the most concerning signs that their emotional investment has significantly declined. Relationships require effort from both partners, whether it's working through disagreements, compromising, or simply showing kindness and affection. When someone is truly committed to making a relationship thrive, they actively put in the time, energy, and care needed to nurture it, even when times get tough. However, if your partner stops showing interest in resolving conflicts, making compromises, or doing the little things that keep the relationship healthy, it can feel like they've given up. They might stop communicating about issues, avoid addressing problems, or even act indifferent when you bring up concerns about the future. This lack of effort can leave you feeling frustrated, hurt, and uncertain about the relationship's direction. There are many reasons why someone might stop trying to make a relationship work. They could have emotionally checked out, meaning they no longer feel the same level of attachment or desire to continue building the connection. Sometimes, people stop putting in the effort when they feel they're no longer understood, valued, or supported. In other cases, they might be struggling with personal issues that they haven't shared, leading them to disengage from the relationship without realizing the impact it's having. When your partner no longer cares about making the relationship work, it can create a sense of emotional abandonment. A healthy relationship requires both partners to be equally invested, and when one person stops caring, it often signals that deeper issues are at play. If you notice this behavior, it's important to have an honest and open conversation about the state of the relationship. Understanding why your partner has stopped trying and whether there's any desire to work through things together can help you both decide if the relationship can be revived or if it's time to let go.